Okay, so let's try another problem using Trig to answer our question. So we have two hikers that leave from the same point, and the first one does a true north bearing of 40 degrees and walks 4 kilometers, and then does a 155-degree bearing to get to the campsite. And then the other one, Esco, hikes to the camp directly, and the campsite is at P. Um, so that means it says, how far does Esco hike? So Esco is going directly to the campsite, so straight to this campsite. That should go there, but that's okay. So I'm just going to label that as X. Okay, so first thing we need to know is we need to be able to find this angle measure, because if I know this angle measure, I have side angle side. And if I have side angle side, I can use the law of cosine. So um, I know that this angle 40 degrees and this angle right here, I'm just going to call it alpha. Those two, because these are parallel right here, we have same side interior angles, and so those are supplementary. So I know that if I take that 40 away, I get 140, and so this must be 140 degrees. And then I know that this whole entire thing makes a circle, and circle is 360 degrees. So if I take 360 and I subtract that 140 and subtract the 155, I end up with 65, and so this angle measure is 65 degrees. So that's step one. So now I have my side angle side, and I can find my missing side by using my law of cosine. So because I have that angle 65, x is going to be the part that's over on the left-hand side. And then in no order, I have 4 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 4 times 6 times the cosine of 65. And then if I add that together, I have x squared is equal to 52 minus, and if we multiply that, that gets us 48 cosine of 65. And remember, don't take 52 minus 48 because 48 is attached to the cosine. So then we can take the square root of both sides, and we find that x is 3 sig fig 5.63, not centimeters, kilometers. So that is how far Esco hiked. So I can say that this is 5.63. Okay, so then the next question says, in which direction does Esco hike? So when we say in which direction, I'm looking for that angle. So Esco had to turn true north this entire angle degrees. So I know that this part's 40, but I don't know what this part is. So I'm going to label that as alpha or as theta, and we need to find that angle. So we can use law of sine again, or law of cosine, excuse me, to find that missing angle there because we now have this side right here. So there's two ways you could do it. You could do side, 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 or you could use your side angle side. So across from theta is 6. So I have 6 squared is equal to 5.63 squared plus 4 squared minus 2 times 5.63 times 4 cosine of theta. And remember, we're going to end up having to do the inverse cosine. So I'm going to take and I'm going to subtract that whole entire chunk to both sides. I'm not going to write it because I don't really have room. Hold on, sorry. There we go. Okay, so we're going to subtract that whole chunk, and that's going to go away. And when I take 6 squared and I subtract this chunk right here, I end up with negative 11.6969 is equal to, and then if I multiply that together, I get negative 45.04 times the cosine of theta. And then I need to divide by the negative 45.04 on both sides, so that cancels. And then I'm going to have to take this and do my inverse cosine to be able to get rid of my cosine. And I end up with theta is equal to 74.9. And then if you remember, this is 74.9, but the whole degrees, I have to add 40 to it. And so when I add 40 to that, then